right, everyone, welcome to Rhythm and Roads. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have a very special guest with us. We have Kirsten Singer. She's the makeup artist for the short film Toxemia. So, welcome, Kirsten, to Rhythm and Roads.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to finally meet you over Zoom. And I actually spoke with Trisha and Hunter, and everyone's just been great. And so yeah, I'm looking
Nice.
forward to our interview, and here we are. So.
Here we are.
And here we are. Well, let's start with chapter one, episode one of your story. So,
Sure.
as I noticed that you're also an actress,
Yes, I
and
am.
are you so an actress, makeup artist? What about singing? Are you a singer as well, or no?
Unfortunately, I don't. It's
Okay.
funny because my last name's literally Singer, but no, that's kind of the one part of the arts that I've never
No,
partaken
yeah.
in.
No,
So,
that's fine. So let's get started with the story behind what intrigued you to want to pursue acting.
Mhm. Sure. Well, I would say the main thing is I've always had a crazy love for movies. Like just from being a kid, me and my brother Julian, he's actually in film school right now to become
Oh,
a
cool.
director.
Nice.
So that was always kind of our escape together. We love to watch movies with our parents, love to watch them together. And I would say like it's kind of always been my escape, honestly.
Nice.
I didn't have a bad life or anything, but I think that an escape is always an important thing to have,
It is.
whether
Yeah.
it's good or bad. And yeah, I would just say I always love movies. Um, I always found a lot of comfort in them.
Mhm.
And I would say that definitely like grew my love for acting because I feel like acting is like the number one way to be immersed in a movie. Like that's like the deepest you can go. I think makeup is fun because you can make the actors look good and look ready, but acting is like the most extreme way to be like delved into the story. So
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah. And
Mhm.
so, what intrigued you to want to pursue acting? Like, is it from the movies, like you mentioned, like when you were watching movies, you're like, I want to do that? Or was there a certain like friend of yours, or maybe a certain actor that you looked up to growing up that you were just like, wow, I want to just be like her, you know? So,
Mhm. Yeah, I would actually say Timothy Chalamet is a big
oh yeah,
inspiration.
oh that's cool.
Yeah, I've been a fan of his since probably like Little Women, 2019.
Okay.
I really like how he portrays sadness.
Mm,
Specifically, I mean, watching like his tears, it's like I feel every bit of his grief, you know? And I kind of was like, that'd be an awesome thing to be able to do to make people want to feel my emotions with me.
mm.
So yeah, I always looked up to him, and honestly, like I don't have any friends who are actors besides the people I've kind of met on the short films I've worked on.
Oh, okay.
Um, I kind of just realized like this is something I can do. I have always had a gift of imagination, and I do feel deep emotions, you know. So I'm like, if I can like kind of tap into all of that, I think this is something maybe I could do, and then maybe I could finally be part of these movies that I've loved all my life.
Right, right. And awesome. So going back to, and thank you for sharing the start of that.
Of course,
Was
yeah.
the first like short you were ever part of as an actress? Maybe of the first project or anything you might.
Yeah, I would say officially, my brother ran this club in our high school. It
Oh,
was called Film Production Club, and he
oh,
made a couple of
nice.
short films in that club. So I was like an extra in some of those. But yeah, to be completely honest, I haven't acted in too many films. I've done a lot
Okay.
of theater. I
Mm.
actually just came off of a play here at my college. It was Little Women, and I played Joe.
Oh, you
So that
did? You
was
played
super
Joe?
awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and that also like extremely expanded my love for acting because
Oh, wow.
yeah, Joe was just someone I could completely like transform myself into, and she's kind of different from me, but it was really nice to be part of that experience. It was my first big role in theater. And yeah, for films, I was an extra in this film called Night Nurse as well,
Okay.
but I actually haven't had any speaking roles yet in any film. So yeah, I've kind of done some extra work, but I'm definitely working my way up. Working through backstage, trying to get some auditions here for the summer. So yeah, just mainly theater for now.
No, that's awesome. And that's so cool that you were part of the Little Women because I love the movie back in the 90s.
Hmm.
You remember seeing that one?
Is that the one with Winona Ryder?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't actually seen that whole movie,
You
but I've
haven't
seen
seen
clips.
that one? Oh man.
No, I'm kind
And
of
that
sad.
also has oh my God, please don't put they, people are gonna be like, how did you forget his name? Don't the oh my
Is
God,
it
this is
is it
embarrassing.
Alan Rickman?
It's the actor from The Dark Knight. Christian Bale. Oh my God. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that was not what I was
I haven't
thinking.
had my
Yes, he
coffee.
was Lauren.
Yeah, Christian Bale. So Christian Bale is actually in this film, Little Women, but he's young. He's probably like, I think I read that he was like early 20s.
Okay,
Yeah, so I mean, it's such a great film. I love the one from the 90s, and yeah, I really recommend watching it. You probably would have to rent it because it's very, older film. But
okay.
yeah, but you can definitely find it on like Amazon Prime or something. But yes, that story, I really like the story because it really brings out how even in those kind of hard times, they were still using their imagination to
Mhm.
explore their talents, their skills of just being, wanting to explore and teach, but also being in theater. I'm talking about
Mhm.
Little Women, how all the sisters were always like trying to get out there and just be better, and I was like, that's awesome. So
Yeah, definitely. It's very
anyway, we're not doing
inspiring.
this episode based on Little Women, so we'd be here all day talking about it. But anyway, that's so cool you played Joe though. Joe was one of my
Thank you.
sisters in that movie, so
Yeah, mine too. It was super fun.
yeah, that's cool. So now going to being a makeup artist, what was the
Mhm.
transition from okay, you had the desire to go to be an actress and you got your journey started with that, but then when was it where you were like, I should try that. I want to do makeup for films.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually interested in makeup first,
Oh, were you?
before I
Okay.
was interested in acting. Yeah. I kind of like I've always had an interest in acting, but I never, I guess, thought I was like good enough to put myself out there until
Oh,
recently when I kind of got some more confidence and was like, okay, maybe I can try this. But yeah, with makeup, I would say like so, going along with my love for movies, I was always super all of like the costume and makeup design and especially like special effects stuff. I'm a
okay.
big fan of horror. So like
How are you?
I've seen
Okay.
a lot of movies with just crazy special effects for that, like whether it's like the monsters or just like kind of corpses or whatever.
Yeah.
I just like seeing like the crazy makeup and how they can make it look so real. And yeah, I guess I started that journey maybe like about a year and a half ago. I started putting myself out there on backstage for makeup.
Nice.
And I really think it's just that. Like, I always love the visuals of movies so much, and I wanted to be part of that.
Mm.
And I also, this is funny. I volunteered at like a vacation Bible school type camp when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
And we had this class called show hair and makeup. So I
Show
would like
hair
teach
and
these little
makeup.
girls how to do makeup.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
And even then, like me and my friends who were also volunteering, we would just like sneak a bunch of makeup at the end and like do show makeup on each other because we're like, oh, we have like a lunch break. Let's just like use all the makeup. It was always a love of mine. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I just kind of always had a love for like anything creative, and doing makeup was a big part of that. So yeah,
Oh,
from
that's
being a kid, I loved it. And then I kind of have been experimenting more like the past couple of years with more like Halloween makeup, special effects makeup, and I'll literally just be in my room. I have like 8 wigs down there. I have like buckets of special effects makeup, and I'll just be there for like 6 hours recording a SFX video for my Instagram. So yeah, it's really the story.
oh wow. That's interesting. I want to talk about that vacation Bible school real quick. So you said you were doing hair and makeup there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was called Show Hair and Makeup. Mhm.
Interesting. So there's a movie. Sorry, I'm gonna bring this up, but it reminded me of you know Dane Cook, right? The
I'm
comedian.
not sure if I
No?
do.
Okay, there's a movie called My Best Friend's Girl.
Okay.
And him and his best friend go to a woman's I guess salon parlor and they
Mhm.
meet a Christian woman there and they're talking and I'm not trying to put down the faith at all because I'm a believer as well, but I'm just saying it's
Of
just funny
course.
because as they were sitting there, Dane Cook's a comedian in the film. Of course, he's a comedian in real life, but he was just like, "Oh, are you here to get a what would Jesus do?" Like as in hair.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so I'm
true.
thinking like when you were there, you're like, oh, you want to see what would Jesus do? This is the hair, I don't know. It was just funny when you see this film. Like, are you here for what would Jesus do? Girl looked at him
Yeah.
like, no. Like, what? Anyway, it's a hilarious movie called My Best Friend's Girl
Mhm.
with Dane Cook. But anyway, like, anyway, let's move on from that. It's fine. Um, but yeah, so the movie Toxemia.
Mhm.
Where did that start from Trisha reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, would you like to be the makeup artist?" Or how did you guys get in contact with
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, so my first time working with Trisha was actually for her film number six. That
Oh,
was like last year. We filmed around like April.
okay.
So we actually connected through backstage. I was just applying for some makeup artist jobs, and then she reached out back to me, and I kind of like showed her my portfolio. Then I got hired on, and then she kind of like I know she makes it a big deal to hire on like the same kind of group of people throughout her different films because she thinks like it's kind of more of like a family type
Mm.
dynamic between the cast and crew. So yeah, she hired a lot of us back on for Toxemia that were like the same people from number six, just
Oh,
different like roles. Yeah, so it was really cool. I got to see a lot of like the same people I met for number six. And yeah, that's really the story. We got connected through her first film, and then she just kind of reached back out to me to see if I was available, and I was. So
nice.
yeah, it was super nice.
Nice.
Mhm.
I don't even know about the movie Six. I don't think we even talked about that.
Oh, really?
We were just mostly focused on Toxemia and just the start of her directing. But do you want to share a bit about Six or what the film's about?
Sure. Yeah, because that was a super fun experience because it was my first kind of bigger film as a makeup artist.
Oh wow,
And
okay.
I think it was her very first film as a director. I can't like don't quote me on that, but I believe it was.
Mhm.
So yeah, the plot of that was like it's kind of from the perspective of these two detectives, and they're looking into this case of this like cannibal vlogger girl,
Mm.
and she basically makes all of these like YouTube videos of her like killing these men and showing you how to make like meals out of them. Like it's like a horror film, like she's a cannibal.
Oh wow.
Um, and yeah, then there's kind of a twist at the end. I won't spoil it, but it
Okay.
should be up on her YouTube. So
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty fun.
and it's called Six?
Yes, number six.
Okay. I could now I understand why Trisha's Instagram it says six something film.
Yes,
I was
six
like,
MP
yeah,
films.
I thought that was mainly the production company or something for the her business.
Yeah, I think it's based on her first film, number six.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. Well, now we can get into the aspect of future projects. So is there anything in the works right now that you're going to be a part of in the future?
With Trisha or just in
Oh,
general?
just in general. Just
General, well, I will say, I don't know how much I can say, but we have a few projects with Trisha coming up,
oh,
hopefully
sweet.
this summer. But yeah, other than that, I really don't have anything planned.
Okay.
I plan to be involved in theater at my college next semester, but I'd like to do a lot of like even student films this summer just to kind of build up my resume a little bit
Yeah.
more. So yeah, that's really it. Unfortunately, I can't tease a lot about that, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm just looking forward to like trying out for a lot of stuff and seeing what I can get this summer.
Yeah, she did mention about a film that you guys are doing this year, later this year. So that's, and then one of my good friends, Lester G. Reynolds, he's an actor. He's going to actually be flying to Chicago to be part of that film.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were
Okay.
talking about that, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Lester's going to be coming out to be part of the set." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So for that,
Yeah.
for the one you guys are going to do in, I think September or October, something like that. So
Mhm. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I'm very excited for that one.
So I do want to ask you, knowing that you have been in theater and you have been
Mhm.
in short films, I've been told by um, actresses in Las Cruces, New Mexico, because I was at the Las Cruces International Film Festival this past weekend. They were showing over 100 films, incredible films, like just and just the advice they would give. Because I'm trying to build up my portfolio as well, but as a background actor.
Oh,
But one
nice.
thing they said was start in theater,
Huh.
build
Okay.
that up, and I feel like, and I asked them, well, why would like if you're trying to like learn more about acting, they said
Mhm.
start in theater. And I'm like, oh, why is that? It's because in theater, you're getting pushed to use I guess, all the what you can do in that moment where you cannot say cut. And it's just, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
learn it. Like you have to do everything up front. And if you mess up, that's fine. But they were recommending a lot to build your acting skills in theater. So what's your
Mhm.
thoughts on that?
That actually makes a lot of sense. I honestly have never heard that before.
Okay.
But yes, I did struggle a bit with that with this production because I mean, we had a lot of kind of like old-fashioned dialogue. So sometimes we like would trip over our words and like you can't stop in that moment and beat yourself up for it because
Right.
there's not going to be another take. Like this is
Right.
the show, there's an audience right
Right.
there.
Yeah.
You just it really does help you to build your confidence
Yeah.
because you just have to accept like who you are and what you did in that moment and you have to move on and stay in character.
Mm.
You're right, there is no cut, there's no break where you can like beat yourself up and then try again
Yeah.
and get better. I would say it definitely taught me a lot about like that there's no such thing as perfection with acting because I
Right.
used to be very hard on myself and a very big
Really? Okay.
perfectionist. Yeah, I mean, I would actually had a lot of social anxiety, which I still have to deal with now.
Mm.
So I was like, anytime I would get up on a stage, like I would literally rehearse until I dropped. Like if I messed up, I would beat myself up about it for like weeks. But
Really?
then I definitely, yes, it was bad. But recently I've learned that like that's just not an option,
Mm.
especially that because I want to pursue this for my career. I can't spend my career beating myself up.
Oh.
Um, and also, like, some of the best acting is imperfect.
Mm.
Some of it, like, people watch movies and watch theater because they want to see raw emotion. They
Mhm.
want to see humanity. They don't want to see something that's rehearsed and every, like, intonation is perfect, every word is perfect, because that's not how humans are.
Right,
So
right.
theater does teach you that. It teaches you that you just have to be human and move on if you mess up.
Great point, Kirsten. I do want to say that I've struggled with that a little bit as well. I think I'm gonna just be honest as well. So like this
Sure.
past weekend, as I was at the Las Cruces International Film Festival, I was
Mhm.
interviewing over 20 actors, directors, producers, everyone from all over the US and local as well. But that was
Mhm.
my first time ever doing live interviews in person at a festival.
Oh, right. Okay.
Now the thing is I'm not like, I'm very inexperienced. I mean, but the thing is I
Sure.
had to humble myself to a point that if I caught myself messing up a little bit, I I'm just saying for the first day we were doing it, I caught myself, and then after the end, I was kind of like beating myself up a little bit up here, like, oh
Mhm.
man, I can't believe I said this or the way I don't know, whatever. But one thing that my friend told me, he was like, Josh, remember, it's okay to mess up because we're all messed up in our life. We've made mistakes in these industries. We've tried new things,
Mhm.
different things, and that's the thing is that you're out there, and that's what matters is that you are trying to do something worth living for, something that's fun, something. And the thing is, you're not going to be perfect at it, and no one said you will ever be perfect at what you do.
Right.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, and even well-known directors that I've interviewed this past at the festival, they were honest in telling me when I was interviewing them, I've messed up on films. Big films that I've directed on and things didn't go well but the thing is you learn from it. You grow. So,
Right.
back to what you were
Mhm.
saying, it's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to make mistakes because that's how you grow as a person to develop your skill, to be better. And the thing is, I had to work on that too because I would be hard on myself. I'm not saying during
Mhm.
the festival, but like with other things prior to life, I mean, certain things,
100%.
every now and then you get beating yourself up about stuff, but you have to think about it like, wait a minute, like, why would I? You're the only one who's going to love you more than
Mhm.
anyone else that's going to love you. You got to take care of you. So always have more grace for yourself and say, "Hey, I'm trying." Like everyone that I've been in this theater room with and film projects, they've had their share of mess ups. They've had their share of mistakes.
Definitely.
And so it's okay that if they've done it in their life, I may not have seen them mess up, but in their journey, they've messed up at one point, but they're still
Yeah,
here. So it's okay. It's okay to
exactly.
mess up and make mistakes and grow and have fun. So
Yeah, definitely what I'm learning. And honestly, it makes it more exciting because then you can actually focus on what you love instead of just focusing on yourself and your failures because that's not what life is about at all.
it's not. And sometimes when you look back, you're like, why did I beat myself up so much over that? So
Exactly.
much
It's such
energy
small things.
drained, so much, just the whole day was ruined because I let it get to consume me so much when people are all like, hey, it's
Exactly.
okay, it's okay, like you're good. But then you
Mhm.
still drive home all like, God, I can't believe I messed up and this and that. And everyone else is like, hey man, we've all been there, but I don't let it ruin my whole night. I don't let it ruin the rest of my day because you only have that one day to live, right? So I mean, me, we're
Exactly.
here today, tomorrow's not here. So enjoy the moments of today and just do your best to overcome that. And I'm trying to work on that too, where I don't let it ruin my whole entire day by something happening.
Yes, exactly. Mhm.
Anyway, so I'm not trying to be like Dr. Phil here, so
You're good.
but it's a good to express stuff like that. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of artists, I think, they do need to hear some encouragement. That's why I have this podcast is, hey, a reminder, it's okay to mess up.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
Anything you want to add to just maybe some advice of your own to those that are looking to pursuing acting, being a makeup artist?
Sure, yeah. I would say the main thing is like make sure you do have the passion for it.
Mm,
Make sure that this is your kind of main love in life
mhm,
because it is hard. Like it's a hard career path. And in some cases you might not have a lot of support. Like there have been times when I haven't had a lot of people backing me up because they say it's such like an unsure field to go into. Like you don't know if you're gonna like succeed or not.
mm.
But I would say like I love acting, I love makeup and just like this field of film. I love it more than like I care about success or money.
Dang,
And I would say just like learn to be content with doing what you love and not making a lot of money. Don't do it for the money or for the fame because that is 100% not guaranteed. And even if you get it, it's empty without the love for it, for acting,
mhm.
you know?
Yeah, most
Um, so yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would say mainly just make sure that this is your love before you kind of devote your whole life to it, because that love will definitely get you through those really hard times.
well said. And that love that you have is both acting and makeup, being a makeup artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely both.
Yeah,
hmm
and back to what you just mentioned, a friend of mine, a close friend of mine who, well, actually, I'll just share it. Lester,
Sure.
yeah, he was just saying that, yeah, it's not easy. You'll meet him for the set later in this year. But
hmm
he said, yeah, it's not an easy journey. It's hard. But if you have, like you said, if you have the fire and the passion for it, then that's what keeps you going. And that's important
100%.
because it's not always a guarantee. And there's times where it's hard, of a struggle of just winning to find the next role. But if you keep going, yeah, like you said, as long as you have that, the fame and the money it's not the main focus and purpose. Yes, it's always a plus to be there. But if you don't
hmm
get there, still have that love and passion, knowing that, hey, I'm content in loving what I do by just
hmm
doing what I do. So
Yeah, like something I always say is I would honestly be happy if I could just like work in student films my whole life and not get paid a lot just because I'd be acting,
really?
just because I'd be doing makeup. I would. I mean, of course, there's
Wow.
always that like small hope in the back of my head that's like, oh, it'd be cool to like be out there in Hollywood one
Oh yeah,
day.
of course.
But yeah, but honestly, like that's never been the goal, and I don't think it ever should be. I think that like as long as I'm doing what I love and as long as I'm doing what I feel called to do in my life, like that's kind of my goal.
That's right.
And yeah, I think that's definitely something important to have. Just as long as you love doing it, I don't think that the money or success based on like what other people think it should be should matter.
Well said. Thank you, Kirsten.
Of
Now,
course.
get to know you just a little bit more in the personal side before we end the podcast. What is one of your most favorite films that you just love and adore that you'd like to share?
Mhm. I'd probably say E.T.
E.T.?
Yes,
Wow, no
I
way.
that movie since childhood has been like pretty much my number one favorite movie. I just love like how friendly it is. Like it's just so wholesome and sweet and like it's exciting too. And I actually got to see it in like it wasn't in 3D, but it was something like special in one of like the AMC's. They have like a really big screen. They like somehow like do something with the colors. I don't remember what it's called, but they make it like very, very engaging. And
Really?
I went to go see it with my family in that way. And like I was just mesmerized by it. Like it feels like such a magical experience. And that's just, I've loved it my whole life.
Dang. That's the first in like my year and a half, almost 2 years doing this podcast is hearing E.T.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a great movie. Yeah, so great choice. Yeah, E.T. I just haven't seen it forever.
hmm
Remember when it came out? Well, I wasn't born when it first came out. I don't think I was, or maybe I was like a little kid. But seeing it in the '90s, like late '90s, I was just like, "Oh man, this film is cool, man!" Just it is a very incredible film. So,
hmm I
all
loved
right,
it.
yeah, good choice. Now, for a music artist,
Mhm.
who's your favorite pop singer, or what do you have right now on the top playlist that you're just very like right now listening to?
Mhm. I guess this is more Broadway, but Jeremy Jordan. I've always loved Jeremy Jordan. I love like him in the last 5 years in Newsies mainly. He's just so talented.
Jeremy
But pop
Jordan.
wise, yeah. Pop music, I mean, I guess I like Conan Gray a lot.
Conan Gray? Oh,
He had some great lyrics, and I really like his voice as well. So,
yeah, cool. Well, thanks for
of
sharing that. Well,
course.
I really appreciate you coming on the podcast and sharing your journey and the story. For those that want to look into your work, if you'd like to share how they can find you on social media.
Mhm. Yes, I will be back on Instagram soon. I know we had some trouble with my username, but if you look up Kirsten Singer Makeup on Instagram, you should come up with my makeup account. And then I also have like a visual art account on there as well that should be linked in my bio.
Okay.
And then I'm on IMDb if you just look up Kirsten Singer as well.
Oh,
So,
right, awesome. And by
mhm.
the way, I did find your makeup Instagram page because I
Oh,
tagged you
perfect.
in it for the post today. I did a little
Okay.
on my story, so I was like, "Oh, there's her page."
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you found it. I don't know what's been going on, so sorry
No,
about that.
no, that's good. But it was actually cool to check out. I mean, I was like, "Wow, I saw majority of your work, and it was like very
Mhm.
impressive." So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. Well, it was a pleasure having you, Kirsten, on Rhythm and Rose. I really appreciate you and your time and sharing your journey. And I wish you all the best and success. And thank you for
Thank
sharing your advice as well. And it was very helpful for those that will see this to be inspired. Just knowing that, yeah, you need to really have this as a passion, the love for it, to get through
For
the
sure.
obstacles. It's not always a smooth road, but
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. This was super fun today. It was nice to
Oh,
meet you and get to talk
yeah.
a little bit about the thing we love. So thank
Right?
you.
That's what it's all about. So, all right,
For
guys.
sure.
Well, I appreciate you checking out this episode, and we will catch you on the next one.